What if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do for your brain tonight isn't a supplement, a pill, or a brain game, but what you eat before bed? Most seniors are told that brain decline is inevitable, that memory loss, slower thinking, poor sleep, and mental fog are just part of getting older. But here's what's really going on inside your body. And this is critical to understand. Your brain is designed to repair itself every single night. The problem is most people unknowingly block that repair process with the wrong nighttime foods, and this matters more than ever. Because after the age of 50, the brain becomes highly sensitive to blood sugar, insulin, inflammation, and sleep hormones. If those systems are disrupted at night, the brain doesn't detoxify properly. It doesn't repair damaged neurons, and it doesn't consolidate memory the way it should. Over time, that accelerates cognitive decline, raises dementia risk, and leaves people feeling mentally exhausted even after a full night in bed. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your brain like a busy city. During the day, traffic is heavy. Thoughts, decisions, stress, sensory input. At night, that city is supposed to shut down traffic so the cleaning crews can come in. Trash is removed. Roads are repaired. Power systems are optimized. In your brain, that cleaning crew is called the glymphatic system. And it only works efficiently when insulin is low, inflammation is calm, and sleep hormones like melatonin are high. Here's the problem. Most nighttime eating patterns do the exact opposite. Late night sugar, refined carbs, alcohol, or even healthy snacks eaten at the wrong time spike insulin, raise cortisol, and suppress melatonin. The result? Your brain stays in day mode all night long. No deep repair, no detox, no real recovery. What the research now shows is that specific foods, eaten at the right time, can actively trigger brain repair, reduce neuroinflammation, and enhance memory formation while you sleep. This isn't theory, this is physiology. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to eat at night to support brain regeneration, especially for seniors, and just as importantly, what to stop eating that silently damages the brain after dark. We'll talk about insulin, the liver-brain connection, sleep hormones, and the foods that activate the brain's nighttime repair cycle. I'll also give you simple, realistic protocols you can start tonight. No extreme diets, no medications, no gimmicks, because healthy aging isn't about doing more. It's about removing what blocks your body's natural repair systems and then feeding them correctly. And once you understand this, nighttime becomes one of your most powerful tools for protecting your brain, your memory, and your independence long term. Here's what's really going on inside your body at night. And this is one of the most misunderstood issues in brain health for seniors. Your brain cannot repair itself when insulin is high. Most people think of insulin only in terms of diabetes or weight gain, but insulin is also a powerful daytime hormone. Its job is to move glucose into cells, signal energy availability, and keep the body alert and active. That's useful during the day. At night, it becomes a problem. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your brain is a house that needs overnight cleaning. Insulin is like turning all the lights on and leaving the TV blasting. The cleaning crew can't do their job, the brain stays stimulated, repair systems stay offline. What the research shows is that low insulin at night is a prerequisite for deep sleep, melatonin release, and activation of the brain's glymphatic system. The network that flushes out metabolic waste, beta amyloid, and inflammatory debris linked to cognitive decline. Now here's where seniors are especially vulnerable. As we age, we become more insulin resistant. That means the same foods that barely affected insulin at 30 can cause prolonged insulin spikes at 60 or 70, especially at night. A bowl of cereal, a piece of toast, even healthy fruit or yogurt before bed. These foods keep insulin elevated for hours, right when the brain is supposed to shift into repair mode. This is why so many seniors say, "I sleep, but I don't feel rested." Or, "My memory feels foggy even though I'm eating well." It's not just what you're eating, it's when and how it interacts with insulin. When insulin stays high at night, 3 damaging things happen. First, melatonin drops. Insulin suppresses melatonin production, and melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone. It's one of the brain's most powerful antioxidants and neuroprotective molecules. Second, the glymphatic system slows down. Studies using brain imaging show that this system is most active during deep, slow-wave sleep, and insulin disrupts that sleep stage. Third, inflammation increases. High nighttime insulin drives inflammatory signaling that irritates neurons and blocks synaptic repair. Now here's the empowering part. You don't need extreme fasting or rigid dieting to fix this. For most seniors, the solution is simply ending carbohydrate-heavy foods 3 to 4 hours before bedtime and shifting the evening meal toward foods that keep insulin low and stable. Think protein, healthy fats, and fiber, not sugar or starch. Examples include eggs with vegetables, fatty fish like salmon, olive oil, avocado, or nuts in small amounts, light soups with protein, not noodles or bread. These foods send a very different signal to your brain. Insulin stays low, melatonin rises. The brain gets the message. It's time to repair. If this is making sense so far, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. I post science-based strategies like this every day to help you protect your brain and age powerfully. One more key point. Hunger at night doesn't mean you need sugar. Often, it's just your body asking for stable blood sugar, not stimulation. When insulin is controlled at night, many people notice deeper sleep, clearer thinking in the morning, and better memory within weeks, sometimes sooner. This isn't about restriction. It's about timing your biology correctly. And once insulin is out of the way, the brain can finally do what it was designed to do at night: clean, repair, and regenerate. Now let's talk about one of the most important and least discussed systems in brain health, especially for seniors, the glymphatic system. Here's what's really going on inside your brain when you sleep. Your brain does not have a traditional lymphatic system like the rest of your body. Instead, it has a specialized nighttime-only detox network called the glymphatic system. Its job is to flush out metabolic waste, including damaged proteins, inflammatory byproducts, and compounds like beta amyloid that are strongly associated with Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. But here's the critical detail most people miss. The glymphatic system only works efficiently during deep sleep, and only when the brain is in a low-energy, low-stimulation state. Let me explain this with a simple whiteboard-style picture. Imagine brain cells as houses on a street. During the day, those houses are expanded, active, busy, tightly packed together. There's no space between them. At night, during deep sleep, those cells actually shrink slightly, opening up space between them. That space allows cerebrospinal fluid to wash through the brain like a gentle tide, carrying away waste. No deep sleep, no space, no cleaning. This is why sleep quality matters more than sleep duration. Now here's where nighttime food choices come in. Certain foods, especially those that spike insulin or inflammation, keep brain cells in their expanded daytime state. That prevents the physical changes required for glymphatic flow. Even if you're in bed for 8 hours, the brain never fully enters detox mode. Research using advanced brain imaging has shown that deep, slow-wave sleep increases glymphatic clearance by up to 60% compared to light sleep. And seniors already experience less deep sleep due to age-related changes in melatonin and circadian rhythm. That means food timing becomes even more important with age. So what helps the system turn on? 3 things matter most: low insulin, low inflammation, stable blood sugar. And this is where specific nighttime foods can actively support brain detox instead of blocking it. Foods rich in omega-3 fats, like salmon or sardines, reduce neuroinflammation and improve cell membrane flexibility, which supports that nighttime cell shrinkage needed for glymphatic flow. Foods high in polyphenols, such as extra virgin olive oil, berries earlier in the evening, or even green tea earlier in the day, calm microglial inflammation in the brain. And foods that provide glycine and magnesium, like bone broth, leafy greens, or pumpkin seeds in small amounts, help deepen slow-wave sleep by calming the nervous system. Here's an important nuance. This does not mean eating a large meal at night. In fact, overloading the digestive system pulls blood flow away from the brain and increases metabolic stress. The goal is a light, early, anti-inflammatory dinner that supports sleep physiology, not digestion. A simple example: grilled fish, sautéed vegetables, olive oil, and herbs, finished at least 3 hours before bed. That meal lowers inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, and allows the brain to fully shift into nighttime mode. One more key insight. Alcohol is often mistaken as a sleep aid, but it's one of the most powerful blockers of the glymphatic system. It fragments deep sleep and increases nighttime inflammation in the brain, exactly the opposite of what we want for repair. When seniors reduce late-night sugar, starch, and alcohol and replace them with calming, anti-inflammatory foods, studies consistently show improvements in sleep depth, memory consolidation, and next-day mental clarity. This is not about perfection. It's about creating the biological conditions that allow your brain to clean itself. And when the glymphatic system is finally allowed to do its job, the brain wakes up lighter, clearer, and more resilient, even in later decades of life. This next piece is where everything starts to come together, because the brain does not repair itself in isolation. It depends heavily on what's happening in the liver, especially at night. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver is the body's primary detox organ. During the day, it's busy managing blood sugar, processing nutrients, and neutralizing toxins from food, medications, and the environment. But at night, the liver shifts into a deep repair and detox phase, and that directly affects the brain. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of the liver as the body's wastewater treatment plant. If it's overloaded or inflamed at night, toxins stay in circulation longer. Many of those toxins, especially inflammatory byproducts, cross the blood-brain barrier and irritate brain tissue. That increases neuroinflammation and blocks cognitive repair. What the research shows is that poor liver detox function is strongly associated with brain inflammation, sleep disruption, and impaired memory formation, particularly in older adults. Now, here's the mistake many seniors unknowingly make. They eat healthy, but they eat too late, or they eat foods that are hard on the liver after dark. Sugar, alcohol, refined carbs, heavy desserts, or large meals. That forces the liver to keep processing glucose and toxins right when it should be shifting into repair mode. And when the liver stays busy at night, the brain pays the price. One of the most important liver-related molecules for brain health is glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant. Glutathione helps neutralize oxidative stress, protects neurons, and supports detox pathways that reduce inflammation in the brain. Here's the key insight. Glutathione production peaks at night, but only if insulin is low and the liver isn't overloaded. This is where nighttime food choices become powerful. Foods rich in sulfur-containing amino acids, like eggs, garlic, onions, and cruciferous vegetables, provide the raw materials the liver uses to make glutathione. Magnesium-rich foods support liver enzymes involved in detox and also calm the nervous system, improving sleep depth. And foods that reduce insulin, like healthy fats and moderate protein, allow the liver to focus on repair instead of blood sugar control. Here's a simple, realistic protocol for seniors. Finish your last full meal 3 to 4 hours before bed. Keep it protein forward, anti-inflammatory, and light. Avoid alcohol after dinner. Even small amounts disrupt liver detox rhythms. If you need something later, think supportive, not stimulating. Warm bone broth, herbal teas like chamomile or lemon balm, a small portion of protein, not sugar. Now this is important. Many seniors experience nighttime wake-ups around 2 to 3 a.m. That's often blamed on aging or prostate issues. But very often, it's the liver sending stress signals because it's overloaded. Supporting liver detox earlier in the evening frequently reduces these awakenings. If this section is helping you see the bigger picture, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. I share science-based strategies like this every day to help you protect your brain and age with clarity and independence. When the liver is supported at night, inflammation drops, toxins clear more efficiently, and the brain can finally focus on repair instead of defense. This is why brain health is never just about the brain. It's about creating the metabolic environment that allows the brain to heal. And the liver is a central player in that process. Now let's get very practical. Because once insulin is low, inflammation is calm, and the liver is supported, the next question becomes, what does the brain actually need at night to repair itself? The answer starts with melatonin, but not the way most people think about it. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone. It's one of the most powerful neuroprotective and antioxidant molecules in the human body. Inside the brain, melatonin reduces oxidative stress, protects mitochondria, stabilizes synapses, and supports memory consolidation. Here's what's really going on inside your body. As we age, natural melatonin production declines, sometimes by more than 50%. That decline is strongly associated with lighter sleep, more nighttime awakenings, and increased risk of cognitive decline. But here's the encouraging part. Melatonin is heavily influenced by nutrition and timing. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of melatonin like a nighttime repair signal. When it rises, the brain gets the message, slow down, clean up, rebuild. Certain foods either amplify that signal or shut it down completely. What the research shows is that melatonin production depends on three key inputs: low insulin, the amino acid tryptophan, adequate magnesium, and vitamin B6. You don't need supplements to get this right. You need the right foods at the right time in the right amounts. Tryptophan is the raw material your brain uses to make serotonin, which then converts into melatonin after dark. Foods naturally rich in tryptophan include eggs, turkey, fish, and pumpkin seeds. When eaten with stable blood sugar and low insulin, tryptophan crosses into the brain more effectively. Magnesium plays a different role. It calms the nervous system, reduces nighttime cortisol, and deepens slow-wave sleep, the stage where brain repair is most active. Leafy greens, avocado, nuts, seeds, and mineral-rich broths are excellent sources. Now here's an important nuance for seniors. Eating these foods too late or in large portions can backfire by activating digestion and raising insulin. The goal is not a heavy bedtime snack. The goal is a strategic evening meal that finishes early enough to allow melatonin to rise naturally. A powerful example of a brain-supportive dinner looks like this: protein, eggs, fish, or poultry; fiber-rich vegetables; healthy fats like olive oil; no refined carbs or sugar; finished at least 3 hours before bedtime. If someone feels they truly need something later, the best options are calming and minimal. Warm bone broth, rich in glycine, which deepens sleep. Herbal tea, a very small portion of protein. Here's what to avoid at night if brain repair is the goal: sugar or desserts, refined grains, alcohol, large fruit portions, ultra-processed snacks, even if labeled healthy. These foods suppress melatonin, spike insulin, and fragment deep sleep, even if you fall asleep quickly. One more critical point: light exposure matters just as much as food. Bright screens at night suppress melatonin as powerfully as sugar does. Seniors who combine supportive nighttime eating with dim lighting and consistent bedtimes see far greater improvements in memory and mental clarity. What's remarkable is how quickly this works. When melatonin rises properly, many people report deeper sleep within days, improved recall within weeks, and better focus and mood over time. That's not placebo, that's physiology. This is how you feed the brain while it sleeps, not by stimulating it, not by overloading digestion, but by creating the internal chemistry that allows repair, regeneration, and resilience to happen naturally. Now we need to talk about the hormone that quietly sabotages brain repair for millions of seniors: cortisol. Cortisol is not a bad hormone. In fact, it's essential. During the day, cortisol helps you wake up, focus, and mobilize energy. But at night, cortisol is supposed to fall to its lowest point. When it doesn't, the brain stays on high alert and repair shuts down. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Cortisol and melatonin work like a seesaw. When cortisol is high, melatonin is low. And without melatonin, deep sleep and brain repair simply don't happen. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine trying to renovate a house while the fire alarm is going off. No one can focus. Nothing gets rebuilt. That's exactly what happens in the brain when cortisol stays elevated after dark. Now here's the issue for seniors. As we age, the stress response becomes more sensitive. Blood sugar dips, late meals, inflammation, poor sleep, and emotional stress all trigger cortisol spikes, especially at night. This is why many seniors fall asleep but wake up between 1 and 4 a.m. with racing thoughts. That wake up is not random. What the research shows is that nighttime cortisol spikes are often driven by unstable blood sugar and liver stress, not just psychological stress. When blood sugar drops too low after a high-carb dinner, the body releases cortisol to raise it. When the liver is overloaded, cortisol rises to compensate. This is where nighttime nutrition becomes a powerful tool. A protein-forward, low-sugar evening meal stabilizes blood sugar for hours, reducing the need for cortisol release. Magnesium-rich foods calm the nervous system. Glycine from bone broth lowers core body temperature and signals safety to the brain. Here's a simple cortisol-lowering nighttime protocol for seniors. Eat dinner earlier and avoid sugar at night. Include protein and healthy fats at the evening meal. Avoid alcohol, which raises cortisol later in the night. Dim lights after sunset. Keep a consistent sleep schedule. And if someone wakes at night feeling alert or anxious, resist the urge to snack on sugar. That reinforces the cortisol cycle. Instead, use calming strategies, slow breathing, warm tea, or simply staying still and letting cortisol fall naturally. Now here's a key insight most people miss. Chronic nighttime cortisol doesn't just impair sleep. It shrinks the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory formation. Elevated cortisol is directly linked to memory loss and accelerated brain aging. The good news? Cortisol responds quickly to lifestyle changes. Within weeks of stabilizing nighttime blood sugar and improving sleep hygiene, studies show reductions in cortisol and improvements in memory performance, even in older adults. If this section is resonating with you, consider liking the video and subscribing. I share practical, science-backed strategies like this every day to help you protect your brain and your independence. Brain repair requires calm, it requires safety, and it requires a hormonal environment that tells the brain, you can rest now. When cortisol drops at night, the brain finally shifts out of survival mode and into regeneration. Now let's bring everything together into something you can actually use. A simple, realistic nighttime brain repair protocol designed specifically for seniors. This is not about perfection. It's about consistency and biology. Here's what's really going on inside your body when this works. When insulin is low, cortisol is calm, the liver is supported, and melatonin rises, the brain naturally shifts into deep repair mode. The glymphatic system activates, inflammation drops, memory circuits are reinforced, and neurons finally get the resources they need to recover. So here's how to create that environment, step by step. First, timing matters more than quantity. Aim to finish your last full meal 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. This gives insulin time to fall and allows melatonin to rise naturally. Even moving dinner earlier by 60 minutes can dramatically improve sleep depth and next day clarity. Second, build the evening meal correctly. Your dinner should send one clear signal to your brain. The day is done. That means moderate protein, fish, eggs, poultry, plenty of non-starchy vegetables, healthy fats like olive oil or avocado, no sugar, no refined grains, no desserts. This combination stabilizes blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and supports liver detox. Third, eliminate nighttime disruptors. After dinner, avoid alcohol, sugary snacks, large fruit portions, ultra-processed healthy bars or cereals. These foods raise insulin and cortisol at the worst possible time. Fourth, support sleep chemistry naturally. About 60-90 minutes before bed, dim lights, reduce screen exposure, use calming routines. If needed, gentle support foods include warm bone broth, herbal tea, a small protein portion, not to stimulate, but to reassure the nervous system. Fifth, protect deep sleep. Keep the bedroom cool and dark. Aim for consistent bed and wake times. This strengthens circadian rhythm, which directly controls melatonin and glymphatic activity. Now here's an important mindset shift. You don't need to do all of this at once. Start with one change, maybe earlier dinner or removing sugar at night, and observe how your sleep and mental clarity respond. The brain is incredibly responsive when you remove the blocks. If this protocol is helpful, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. I post content like this every day to help you build better health naturally, without medications. What's powerful about this approach is that it works with your biology, not against it. You're not forcing the brain to heal. You're allowing it. And when you do that consistently, even later in life, the brain can regain clarity, resilience, and function far beyond what most people believe is possible. Let's take a step back and connect the dots, because when you understand what's really happening at night, brain health stops feeling complicated and starts feeling manageable. Your brain is not deteriorating because you're getting older. It's struggling because its nighttime repair window is being blocked. What we covered today comes down to one central principle. The brain heals at night, but only in the right metabolic environment. When insulin stays high from late sugar or refined carbs, the brain can't enter deep repair mode. When inflammation and alcohol interfere, the glymphatic system can't clean house. When the liver is overloaded, toxins spill into circulation and irritate brain tissue. And when cortisol remains elevated, the brain stays in survival mode instead of regeneration. But when you remove those blocks, something remarkable happens. Low nighttime insulin allows melatonin to rise. Melatonin deepens sleep and protects neurons. Deep sleep activates the glymphatic system. The glymphatic system clears waste and inflammatory debris. The liver supports detox and antioxidant production. Cortisol falls. Memory circuits strengthen. Mental clarity returns. This is not theory. This is how human physiology is designed to work. And the most empowering part is this. You can influence all of it with simple nightly choices, by finishing dinner earlier, by avoiding sugar, alcohol, and refined carbs at night, by choosing protein, healthy fats, and calming nutrients, by supporting sleep chemistry instead of fighting it. You give your brain permission to repair itself. Healthy aging is not about chasing endless supplements or fearing decline. It's about aligning your habits with your biology, especially after the age of 50, when timing matters more than ever. Here's your challenge. Tonight, try just one of these changes. Eat dinner an hour earlier, remove sugar after dinner, swap a nighttime snack for bone broth or tea, dim lights earlier, and protect melatonin. Then pay attention. Notice how you sleep. Notice how you think in the morning. Notice how your memory and focus feel over the next few days. Your body is always giving feedback when we know how to listen. If this video added value to your life, like the video and subscribe to the channel. You'll join a community of people who are choosing to age with clarity, strength, and independence, using science, not fear. Because the truth is simple. Your brain doesn't need more stimulation at night. It needs space, calm, and the right signals. Give it that, and even later in life, it can still repair, adapt, and thrive.